boys and girls. Today you're going to take out the passage, A Useful Hat. I'm going to read you the nonfiction passage of A Useful Hat, and then How Ty's Horse Got Water, which is our fictional passage, and we will answer the questions together. Remember, at any time, if I'm going too fast, you can pause the video. A useful hat. Cowboy hats are useful hats. Cowboy hats are made to help cowboys do their jobs. Cowboy hats are made with wide brims. The wide brim helps protect cowboys. It protects them from the sun. It protects them from the rain. It protects them from snow, too. The wide brim shades the cowboy's face and neck. The wide brim keeps the top of the cowboy dry from rain and snow. The wide brim also helps to make the hat a good fan. When cowboys are starting a fire, they can use their hats. The cowboys can fan the fire with their hats to help it burn. A cowboy hat is made with a high crown. The high crown is useful. Cowboys can turn the hat over. Cowboys can carry things in the upside-down hat. Cowboys can use their hats to carry food or water to their horses. And we see our cowboy with his cowboy hat. And we learned lots of ways that is useful. Our second passage is How Ty's Horse Got Water. And this is a fictional passage. Ty and his friends were riding horses. They were following an old trail. The trail led to the top of a canyon. The canyon had steep sides. Ty looked down into the canyon. The bottom was far below. Ty said, "Let's ride to the bottom. We will follow the trail." The trail does not go straight down because the canyon walls are steep. The trail zigzags. It zigzags down the steep sides. The zigzagging trail will take us to the bottom. Ty and his friends started down the canyon. They followed the zigzagging trail to the bottom. At the bottom of the canyon, Ty and his friend explored on foot. They climbed down some steep rocks. They found a small pool of water. Ty said, "Our horses need this water." "They cannot climb down to this pool. How can we get the water to the horses?" Ty and his friend took off their hats. They turned the hats over. They filled the crowns with water. They brought water to their horses in their hats. And even though this is fiction, you can see the picture here, I would call this realistic fiction because I think that this is a story that could happen in real life. Question number 1 says, what part of the hat can a cowboy fill with water? The top, the fan, the brim, or the crown? So what you're going to need to do is go back to your passage, A Useful Hat, and I want you to find where can a cowboy fill his hat with water, and let's highlight that part. I think that whole last paragraph gives us a lot of information. So I highlighted it where it's telling us about the crown and turning it over to fill that with water. So I would select D, the crown. Question 2. The canyon had a zigzagging trail because. Why did the canyon have a zigzagging trail? You would need to go back to your passage, How Ty's Horse Got Water, and see if you can find the part that talks about the zigzagging trail. Was it because the walls were so steep, there was a pool of water in the canyon? A trail went to the canyon bottom. The bottom of the canyon was far below. I found the answer in the first paragraph. See if you can find it and highlight it. And again, if I'm going too fast, you can always pause the video. But this is where I found the answer. And I chose A. The canyon walls were so steep. Number 3. What did you read about in both stories? Hats and water, cowboys and hats, water and canyons, or horses and cowboys? What do you think both stories had in common? They both didn't talk about cowboys. They both didn't talk about canyons. So I think I would pick hats and water. A useful hat talks about how they can carry things like food and water in their hat. And how Ty's horse got water talks about how they use the hat to give the horse water. Number 4, from the stories, one can tell that cowboys explore on foot, stay in the shade, want useful clothing, do not go in canyons. What do you think you learned about cowboys? Well, when I looked at a useful hat, it's a useful part of clothing. So I picked useful clothing because it's telling me that the cowboys might need to use their clothing for different things. Number 5. If a cowboy hat was not so useful, a cowboy would have to explore by foot, have to stay close to water, have to bring more things on the trail, or have to stop bringing water to his horse. What do you think on that one? I chose C. He'd have to bring more things on the trail. Because in the passage, we learned that the cowboys can use their hats for many, many things. So that one useful hat can be used for many things. So they don't have to pack extra buckets for water or things like that. On our last page, we always have our show what you know, number 4. Pick a word from either story that you want to write in your best handwriting. It can be any word, just one word, not a sentence. So let's practice our best handwriting. And again, go ahead and pause the video while you copy your word. I chose the word cowboy. But you choose a word that you want to write following the lines. Number 7, draw a cowboy hat. Label the hat with these words. Oh, I'm not that great of an artist, but I'm going to try to draw my cowboy hat here. Top, crown, and brim. And just try to label it the best that you can. If you want, go back to the passage to find those different parts of the hat. And remember that you can pause this video as well. Number 8, list in order what Ty does in the story. Use the numbers 1 to 4. Put a 1 by what happened first. Put a 4 by what happened last. So we want to go back to how Ty's horse got water. What happened first, second, third, fourth. So we have to go back and look at this passage. I think a clue would be that first they explored on foot. Actually, I think number 1 would be they go down the canyon trail. Then they explored on foot. Mrs. Powers wasn't paying very close attention to that part. So number 1 would be they go down the canyon trail. Number 2, they explore on foot, which is in our second paragraph. What do you think they did third and fourth? You can go ahead and finish the rest on your own and share in class by writing a sentence to explain what each story is about. And number 10 says cowboys wear chaps. Chaps are tied on to the front of their pants. The chaps help keep the cowboys warm. They help protect the cowboys' legs from thorns. Do you think Ty was wearing chaps? Why or why not? So remember to restate the question. I think he was wearing chaps because, and give that answer. And I hope you enjoyed our passage on cowboys and their hats.